Were you ever at a gig or a jam session where you had to play something that felt way beyond your level? Maybe even something that left you with a feeling of outright panic? By the end of this video, you'll know the best way to deal with this situation if it comes up, so that you feel in control. I've got a 5-step process to share with you that both reduces nerves and is going to increase the level of your performance. Now, I know it's no fun at all when you find yourself way out of your depth, and it can feel like you simply have no control over the situation. But there are always choices that you can make. You don't get to set the external conditions, but you do get to define exactly what you're going to aim for with your playing and what you count as success. Let me explain. You see, there's something called the challenge skills balance. Now, this is the point where the skills you have available to you are just about equal to the challenge that you face. And this is often referred to as the golden rule of the flow state, or being in the zone. This is the state where you experience not just peak performance, but also reduced anxiety. Now, you can't change your skills right there in the moment, but you do have control over what you see as the challenge. It doesn't have to be that your aim is to give a perfect performance. You've got other options you can go for. Now, this is going to affect both what you choose to do. So, for example, if you're improvising, you might choose just to go for some really simple ideas rather than really complicated stuff over this tune. And it's also going to affect how you feel about what you do. Because if you've set yourself realistic targets, things, maybe not perfection, but stuff that you can achieve, you can feel much happier about your playing and confident that you've got some control over achieving that. And when you're happy with your playing, this leads naturally to you playing much better. When you're frustrated with your inability to play at that level, or you're just thinking, it's not fair, why have I got into this situation? That just naturally leads to you playing worse. So how do you do this in practice, rather than just panicking in the heat of the moment? Well, I've got 5 steps for you. First, remind yourself that you have a choice. I know it sounds really obvious, but most people's instinctive reaction in the heat of the moment is to forget this. Second, take a moment to just think about the situation rather than rushing straight in. Again, under pressure, we tend to rush in when we should actually be slowing things down and keeping calm. Third, make a specific plan for how you're going to play in this situation. Now, obviously, this is going to vary depending on the situation and your role in it. But, for example, if you're an improviser, it might mean any or all of not playing any fast lines, resting during any particular tricky sections, and maybe keeping your improvisation really short rather than trying to play a long thing. Number 4, decide on what success is. So what exactly does success mean to you? It's definitely going to be something less than complete perfection. Is it as low as just getting through it? Are there 1 or 2 specific things that you want to make, and if you don't get the other things quite perfect, then you're happy to let them go? Try and be quite specific about what you're aiming for, something that's realistic for you. And number 5, resolve that you're actually going to stick to those previous 2 steps. Again, this sounds really obvious, but most people don't make it a firm commitment. You've got to resolve to stick to the plan, and also that you will be happy if you achieve it. You're not going to look back afterwards and go, well, I know I said I'd be happy with this, but I'm still disappointed I didn't make it. So, it's remember you've got a choice, pause, plan, define success, and commit. Now, all of this you want to go through reasonably quickly. We're not rushing, remember, but this is not something to spend hours deliberating over. It should be a reasonably smooth process. There's something else that ideally runs alongside this, and that is adopting a warrior mentality. So, really relishing the challenge rather than wishing that things were different. And I'll put a link below to another video I've got on that. Now, I'm not saying that you should look to get into situations where you find yourself out of your depth. But sometimes it just happens. So don't go and deliberately avoid things like gigs, jam sessions, that sort of thing. just because there's a chance that you might find yourself out of your comfort zone. And yes, ideally, you will choose material that puts you on that challenge skills balance line. So when you're the one in control of the choices, make sure to do that. Now, if this has struck a chord with you, then I definitely also recommend that you go and check out my video on why you should get out there and perform more. And please, also let me know in the comments below, what's the one thing you can change about your goals that would reduce the challenge for you when you perform, if you find yourself in a situation like this. And if you want the special practice and performance tips that I only share with subscribers, then head on over to playinthezone.com and sign up for the emails. They're free. I've been Morley-Fletcher. Thanks so much for watching. Please click below to subscribe, and while you're down there, why not hit the share button as well to pass this on to other musicians. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.